The Battle of Shiloh on April 6, 1862, was the attempt of the Confederacy to drive the North out of the South. General Grant had been wreaking havoc in Tennessee, and the Union was making progress in its attempts to gain control of the Mississippi River, which would effectively divide the southern east from the southern west and drive a wedge between the Confederacy. So General Johnston, in charge of the Confederate troops, launched a surprise attack on April 6, 1862, and inflicted heavy losses on Union troops. He drove them back miles, and after a day of heavy fighting, thought that all he had to do was mop up the next day. Sherman, who had been holding the flank on the left, came to General Grant that evening, and he was very disconcerted. And he said to General Grant, "Well, we've had a devil's day today, haven't we?" And General Grant, without missing a beat, responded, "Yes, well, we'll lick 'em tomorrow." Yes, well, we'll lick 'em tomorrow. You see, the Southern troops weren't aware that General Grant was receiving fresh supplies and new troops, reinforcements, that very evening. So on April 7th, 1862, it was General Grant who launched the attack before 6 a.m. and with superior numerical forces drove the Southern troops back, who were depleted, without adequate munitions, and he completely drove them back, and the Southern attempt to kick the North out of the South had failed. It was a turning point in the Civil War. And General Grant, who was criticized for not having defensive positions ready and apparently being caught off guard, did this one thing good that can speak in his favor. He had courage to not retreat after a day of heavy losses. He responded to General Sherman, "Yes, well, we'll lick 'em tomorrow, though." As you're facing difficulties, setbacks, and hardships in your attempt to establish a business or to launch investments, you've had a bad day, you've suffered heavy losses, take General Grant's attitude and respond to the adversities. Yes, well, we'll lick 'em tomorrow. You see, the good thing about investments and business is you can lose most of the time, but you can still win if you just hang in there and don't give up. This is Mike Ashcraft from Christians Get Rich, hoping this tidbit of history can inspire you for your dreams, your visions, what you're trying to do for your future.